still only 21, will be 24, maybe 25, depending on what he's born in January, however that works. So they're still in a position of strength. Obviously, if he doesn't renew a deal and every year he stays, they're in a weak spot. If we've done our due diligence and we believe in the guy's talent, then spend whatever you want on the guy, innit, really. On one hand, I'm with everyone. Bit flavor of the month, flavor of the season. It is probably a bit overpriced and you do have to overpay. But do you bulk at his whatever his transfer fee is right now, and then he goes somewhere else, does the business, and we're like, maybe we should have took a punt? Obviously, you could buy these guys before they're really ready, and we've kind of been here before, so it is what it is. Pepe was Bandulu though, man. You are right. As long as we've done our due diligence, everything's a risk. You can sign a man for 50p or 50 million or 500 million. Everyone's a risk. But one thing I keep saying, Edu and Arteta have got it wrong with some transfers, but I think in the last 2 years, generally the talent ID and the recruitment has been better. Really, you can see what, even the slower signings, you can see Fabio Vieira. I'm not saying he'll be the best in the league and the best in the world and the best for the club and things like that, but you could see he's bringing something to the table, and you can see how he ties in. Ramsdale, Ben White, Tomiyasu, Zinchenko, Gabriel Jesus, how could I miss him out? All them guys, they fitted in well, and I think, in relation to Cedric, Marie, Willian, Arteta and Edu have kind of learned from that. They will get it wrong. Signings don't work out. Not every signing is going to bang, but definitely in the last 2 summers, I think we've done all right. Even with the names we've tried to go for, really, and even in previous years, we've sometimes just bought anyone. So, one thing I have liked, and it definitely frustrated me in January and to a degree in the summer, for whatever reason, we've walked away from certain signings, and that's what you've got to be able to do. So it is what it is. We'll get into what the papers are saying in just a sec, people. Mudryk thoughts, let's put that there. But I liked Pepe, but we're at where we're at. Technically, he's still under contract until 2024. Disneyland would be, he gets recalled next year, a year left on his deal, starts looking like the Pepe he's meant to be, signs a new deal, and Bob's your uncle, we keep it moving. But his days are numbered. They're already numbered, really. In the same way we're showing acceleration to try and get Saliba, Martinelli, Saka, hopefully Charlie Patino and these guys tied down. What have you seen? Even couple man like Gabriel and them kind of players are not, contracted until 2024. They had a year or so extra on top of that. We've renewed their deal. So what does that tell you about Pepe? The days are numbered. Hopefully, big up Pablo Maria on his recovery, but hopefully Monza stay up in Serie A. Hopefully Pepe plays to a standard with Nice that I think he's doing all right there. Not amazing, but where someone takes a chance on him, we know we're going to take a mad L with that. Keep it moving, really and truly. Free up the wages, distribute them resources to confirming new deals towards transfers of players that are going to play a part. One else will get signings wrong. Not every player is going to bang, no matter how much due diligence you do, no matter how much research into everything. Sometimes they just go wrong for whatever reason. It might be mentality, it might be attitude, it might be ability. They just might not be a fit for the league. It happens. Everything is a risk, people. It's like a trader. You could look at stocks and stuff like that, but you might lose. This is how the world works, really. You don't always win. Not every play you benefit from. If we have 100 million to spend on one player, it should go towards a midfielder. I hear you. And I don't believe that we're going to spend 100 odd million on the guy. But if we could, I'm not going to lie, man. Napoli are difficult to do business with. But I would rather bid for the Georgian lad, really, than Mudryk. And again, respectfully, I'm sure Mudryk's a good player. But I more understand that guy more. Again, apologies for the noise, people. Mazzolini's with the drills. Shakhtar smoking some serious crap. Well, they know English teams and everyone's got money. So I can't begrudge them for wanting to get top dollar. Why is YouTube live stream active? Sorry, folks. I just need to log back in here and make sure I can actually see what is happening here. Okay, cool. Fair enough. What's Twitch saying? Sorry, folks. Again, I just want to see my Twitch manager. Make sure I can, obviously, if anything goes wrong, I'm obviously privy to it and aware of what the hell is happening. So, yeah, it is what it is in that regards. Big up you lot tuned in. Again, interesting talking points regardless. Mudryk ain't even better than Martinelli. That Georgian guy's cold, bro. What do you think of Balogun? Good player, developing well, built on his experience at Middlesbrough, doing quite well, set himself the target of 10 league goals on 8, probably needs to revisit that, developing in the right way. You do see some young players go on one loan and come back and they look on fire. I do kind of think, depending on what happens, Balogun might need another loan. I do think his general play and all of those sort of things you're starting to see what Arteta wants from a striker, because scoring is one thing and that's the primary job of a striker. But in today's day and age, not just isolated to Arteta, but all of football, you need to be a bit multifunctional. And I still think his decision making, his positioning isn't quite there, but he's getting better. You know, again, he's 20, 21 years of age, a bit like Eddie and Ketia. They're 23. You know, in an ideal world, I want them to both be Arsenal players. I'd love for them to both be involved next year. Worst comes to worst, loan, make money on the guys. Not every Haaland talent has to be at this football club, really, because it's Champions League football next year. Respectfully to Eddie and Balogun at this moment in time, it's a bit meaty if we're competing in the Champions League, if we get in that and the league. You know, again, we can't really bet on them. Even Jesus, we can't bet on him for the single facet of scoring goals. I believe he will get 15 league goals minimum in the Prem, but you can't bet on it because there's not a body of work historically with him. So you can't really bet on these young players. So yeah, man, just them lot, especially Balogun, to answer your question, just needs to keep developing, do what he's doing, come back next season, pre-season, show Mikel Arteta what you're on, and then revisit the next steps. Maybe that's staying at Reims again. Maybe that's moving to the Premier League on a year's loan, seeing what's going on. Maybe you get an opportunity at Arsenal Football Club. But again, arguably, one would wonder next season, there'll probably be even less chances for young players generally, because again, if you're in the Champions League, it's not Europa. Arteta's gone heavy in the Europa. So what do you think he's going to do in the Champions League? Rightly so. So yeah, this take has been on my mind. Mudryk or Barnes? As the days go on, fee increasing daily, I'm starting to think how much better is Mudryk than Barnes. I can't answer that. I like Barnes a lot, but I'd rather opt for Mudryk, because really with the English tax, you're going to, whatever the fee is, you're going to kind of get into that territory for Barnes. As I said, I don't quite believe the Mudryk 100 million shouts and all them things there. Hey, Deluded, people calling out your name to go on Big Six Extra to rep Arsenal. Hope you're going on there. I've never been selected or shouted. So yeah, man. What is? I know Big Six is Turkish thing, but I don't know what the extra thing is. Never been shouted. But shout to the people for getting the DG name out there, man. For 100 large, they can keep and the horse he would ride in on. Shout out, Graham, man. It's snowing in New York. You know, hopefully you lot enjoy the snow, man. So yeah, man. Intro gets me every time. Goes a banger. One goal wonder, man. Another day closer to the World Cup. Again, the first World Cup fixture is Ecuador, Qatar on Sunday. We'll be doing a watch along across Twitch and YouTube for that. Bro, man, want Mudryk, but if he's 100 mil, are we really grabbing him? I don't believe it, bro. Even Shakhtar, they can want as unrealistic as they want, bro. Like 100 million for someone that's really been on the scene, to me anyways, as a casual football fan, 18 months, it's a bit mad. I can't blame them for wanting to rip people off, really. But yeah, with Smith Rowe back, do you think Arteta will use him as an 8 in Xhaka's role? He should be able, him, Odegaard, Zinchenko, Vieira should be groomed to do that sort of role. But, you know, best of both worlds. You do that development thing and you bring in the next one as well to go with Xhaka. So best of three options, really. I do want Mudryk, but we need a striker / midfield options too, says Patrick. 100 million could be a big chunk of the budget. Mudryk for 100 million, it's a no for me, even though I like the player. But at the same time, I don't blame Shakhtar the next for driving up the price. I hear you. Stop spamming people, please. Stop spamming. It's not going to get things answered. Please stop spamming. Ideally, get 2 players, but if we aim for 1, that money should be used to get a midfielder. So good, I've put that comment up twice. Bear in mind the position we're in, plus World Cup, not to mention the inflated prices because of the Prem money. Even squad signing is probably going to be at least 25 million. 100 million, that's way too much for him. We are not the team to do that type of stuff, though. Pepe is the last time we go over 70 mils for a player. And even Pepe, it weren't 70 million up front. There's many variables in terms of what he's accomplished, you know, as an individual, the goals, the assists, collective prizes as well. So I'd love to know what the true price is for what we've committed to Pepe, really. But he hasn't hit all them variables, you know. If you go back to that summer, it was Zaha or Pepe. Them times there, Crystal Palace saying, nope, you want our player, you've got to pay through the nose. Leo are a selling club, you know, as we've seen with a couple of players, Pepe and Gabriel. They will more let us tailor the deal in a sort of way that benefits them, which again should have never, regardless of paying it up front or not, Pepe should have never been in a scenario where if everything worked out, 72 odd million. But we just have to learn from the previous regime. So yeah, man. Wouldn't toss up be better than Mudryk? I'm not sure for the long term and for title push. Arsenal in the title rush, I don't know really. You know, you'd have to ask anyone. You know, for me, I don't check the league table. Last time I checked is in August. All Arsenal need to do is just keep working very hard, and by God's grace, in May we'll have a season to remember. You know, I like any Arsenal fan, I'd love to win the Premier League. I'd also love to be in the Champions League as a minimum. Extra thing is with Cams, Fuad, and them, man. Shout out Cams and Fuad. What's that like? G Unit without 50 Cent and that? I don't know about that, man. I'm, big up everyone, but I'm a big dog. I'm a main attraction as well, blood. What's all of that? That's like Destiny's Child without Beyonce and them thing there. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Who's James? Shout out Cams and Fiat, my Achilles, though. If we get Mudryk, Telemans, and Mitrovic, I think we could win Champions League next year. Oh, yeah, you reckon? I hear that. I want us to get Anguissa from Napoli. Perfect competition for Partey if we get top 4. If we can get Mudryk, that will be fine. But the ideal of spending more time on one player must be a thing of the past. I mean, realistically, do we really think Edu is sitting down just focused on one target, whether they sign in the summer or in January? You have a team, you delegate. Obviously, you might have to put more time into certain deals depending on where they're at in terms of progress. But we're not just focusing on one thing. Obviously, Edu's the face, but he's a director of football, man. Like, you can't just, like, maybe 30 years ago, but even in today's day and age, like, he's got a team. We don't know his team, like I said, but you have personal assistants, advisors, scouts, probably people that delegate business on his behalf. We obviously have shown every club works with middlemen and agents and stuff. We've shown that we're doing that. So you can focus on multiple targets. And for me, the progress of certain deals must be ahead. Again, whoever Arsenal are going to sign in the summer, at least one of them deals there have probably been, whatever player it is, has probably been agreed now. You might not just wake up in the summer or in January like, let's get a move on. There's indirect talks and obviously things start to pick up. Leo sold Leao, Osimhen, Pepe during the same time. Crazy how we got the worst one. He caught it straight for no reason. Oh, shit, James Redmond, shout out to him. I tried to get him on for the Liverpool thing, but he's Hollywood, mate. Big him up, man, because he's been here before. Will be interesting. Go hard in Jan or stopgap sign until summer. Dead the stopgap thing. Like, we need to, right now, we need to have a 30 squad. Then we can get these little stopgaps and things. For me, the stopgaps already in the team are Xhaka, El Nene, and Partey. No disrespect to any of them, but they're 29, 30. They're not really here long term, really. They're the stopgaps as we assess to find a long-term partner, the long-term party, whether that's the Congo or the next one, the guy who's going to be the Xhaka, the squad player in El Nene. We don't need any more squad, for me anyways. Obviously, there's some exceptions to the rule, but we don't need any more squad depth. I mean, we need squad depth, but them stopgap signings. For me, I take that as Willian, Cedric, Pablo Marie, Socrates. Obviously, Arteta will probably bring in better players, but, you get what you pay for. I'd like to think Arsenal are now smart enough not to splash that much cash on one player. I mean, some players are worth it, and if they believe he's worth it, then he's worth it. But to me as a fan, he's not worth that. Ivan Toney, Mitrovic, I go along with that. I put your name in the hat to be the Arsenal rep, but I know you're doing your thing. Now I'll go on. But I forgot the big tig. You know the tig, but come on. I'm trying, man, Sacco, man, trying to get the CPM and all them fancy things up, man, so we can grow the DG Nation. Without you, lot, be dead, man. People are saying we've only got 150, we've only got 52 likes, and there's over 100 of you on YouTube. Nobby, where you been? We need a midfield player because when Partey's out the team, we are a different team. And I agree, you kind of, when Partey's missing, you rob this new Granit Xhaka, box-to-box midfielder, of what he could be. If Xhaka's not there, you kind of rob Partey and you rob us collectively, because if the midfield's not ticking, defense is going to struggle to defend. We're going to struggle to progress the ball into the other half and ultimately do what football is, and that's putting the ball in the back of the net and winning games, man. Toney and Telemans, and then we're winning the league. I'll take your word for it, man. Again, Arsenal, listen, for me, can we just get top 4 as a minimum? I want to win league titles and things, but boy, I don't think it's as white and black as that, if I'm honest with you. But it would make us stronger. I hear you on that, man. DG, a few papers reporting this morning that we have an interest in Milan Škriniar. I uploaded a video on it yesterday. His contract is up. He was wanted by PSG in the summer, as you know. And he's, rightly so. He's been linked with us, City, Man United, and I think Spurs. Now, I would love Škriniar, 27, beast of a defender. You look at his passing metrics. He's a lovely passer, can play in a 3 or a 4, can play left-sided centre-back as well as right. Contract running down. You'd have to look after him in terms of wages because he's going to be looking for an important one, but he's worth it. If City are in for you, then there's no contest. Obviously, Chelsea are in for him as well. That could be a good opportunity, as could sign him for us, as could go to Man United and all the other teams. Obviously, Spurs could offer him probably better wages than he's going to get at Inter. They've got the Italian links with Conte and the director there. If I'm Škriniar, I'm saying, boy, even if you agree a move in January, like a pre-contract, like what some foreign clubs can do for Telemans, is there a guarantee that Conte will be there in the summer or anything like that? Obviously, I have to kind of discredit Spurs a bit, but Yeah, and even with that, like if he's linked with all these clubs, that could be putting pressure on Milan to give him a new deal, because we read the article yesterday, but allegedly, they set a deadline of, I believe, the 12th of November or something like that, and it didn't bang. So again, you never know, man. My guess is he agrees a new deal at Inter, but you never know. I'm not privy to any information, and I don't know. But yeah, if you could sign Skriniar, bro, that upgrades our defense. One love to Saliba, Gabriel, and that, but them and they are still learning. That you've seen Gabriel in the last few games look really good, but he's still got the bozo gene. Saliba gets away with a couple. Not to discredit them, they're young guys. Skriniar will probably still make mistakes, but he's experienced. Like, he's really experienced. He's been there, done it. He's wore the t-shirt. Italy, I don't think the standard of Italian football, both in terms of the strikers that are scoring goals and the defenders, is quite what it is. But that's the university of defending. Skriniar would be lit. Like that, I would be so happy with that. You know what? I'd be more happy if we agreed to sign Skriniar over Mudryk right now. But I think it's just paper talk. I think it's just was. He would be a lit signing. He'd be an absolute lit signing and a benefit for anyone, man, really. Put the money down, in my opinion. Give him the contract. He'd probably look to be one of the top earners at the football club. Rightly so. Man's 27, been there, done it. Really. Smash the like button if you haven't already, people. So yeah, man. What else you lot saying? A couple more things and we'll look at what's going on. Time's flying, isn't it? Bring Zaha. Feels like that boat's gone.